Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our today's session. First of all, I love to use today's Naeem Iqbal, CIT, PMI, PB, PSM, LIMS. He is National President, Agile Development Society of Pakistan, former PMLH Chapter, Chief Learning Advisor, Professional Development Institute, Islamabad. He is also Certified Happiness Mentor. Naeem has 23 years of experience in technology management and project management, planning, implementation, and rollout. Have managed 10 to 1,000 member cross-culture team, presenting more than 1,650 hours of speaking international as well as national level conferences and training experience. Now I'm going to over this session to Sir Naeem Iqbal Sahab.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful introduction. Assalamu alaikum and good evening for everyone. Hope you are doing good. I have to share screen. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, till we get the option of screen sharing with us, let me ask you a question. Life go? Anyone would like to answer? Anyone? How's your life going? Okay, so we have the screen share enabled. So today's discussion is about project management as life skill. I'm sure majority of you are students and professionals from the project management field. You know what project management is, but today we're not going to talk about professional project management. Today we're going to talk about how we can use this project management in our lives. And do we really think that project management is not only for project managers, but for everyone on this earth? Every human being need to have the project management skill. Why? Because project management is a life skill. You know, you learn to drive a car, you learn to swim, you learn to fight when you're in danger. With all these things, you also need to learn project management. We will discuss in detail in today's session. I think already I will not go further. I have a very diverse experience working for the government sector, for development sector, for NGOs, for commercial sector. So let's move forward. Anyone can tell me what you see in the picture? Anyone, please. Unmute and tell me what you see in the picture. Hello? Can you hear me? Looks like a motorbike. One answer. Anyone else? What do you see in the picture? It's like pumping out of water. Batul, can you please allow them to unmute? Pump is running by bike. Perfect. Okay. I think I can ask to unmute.
I think now it is on mute.
So anyone, what do you see in the picture?
A motor engine start with the motorcycle, something like that, digging the water from the earth.
Perfect. Perfect. Any other opinion?
I was trying to say the same thing, that the water is pumping out with the help of a bike, and they're just using that bike to use the motor for making it more useful to pump the water easier and faster.
Okay. Can I call this innovation? Can I call this creativity?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
It is creativity. Motorbike is not designed to do this, but in the hard times, people learn new things. So just for fun, let's start with a quote. Life is one big project. The trick is in managing it. Miller, 2010. I asked a question on a couple of forums, and some people were saying it's a program. Someone saying it's a lot of projects. So for the simplicity, let's take life as a project. So people who know project management, people who have been working in project management or studying MPM, MSPM, they know what the project is. And just imagine your whole life as one big project. And then we are going to discuss a lot of other things on this. So what a project is, it is a temporary thing, it is unique, and it produces either a product or service or result. So this is a very basic definition of what a project is. I hope you all agree with this definition, that they are temporary, mean have a start and end date, they are unique, and they produce either a product like a car, a house, or a service like a value-added service on your mobile phone, or a result, maybe it's a research study or something, so at the end of it, you get a report or result. So we have projects. Okay, let me ask you, forget about the professional project management. Can you give me some examples of the projects you have been doing, personal life, and any projects you have been doing or you have done? Anyone? Hello? Okay, and now you're able to speak.
It can be a house decor within a week. We are just redecorating it again.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other example?
Like our degrees, our project, when we done our bachelor degree, it's a project. When are doing MS degree or PhD.
Yes, yes. It is a perfect example of a project. Anyone else? So it can be a holiday, like you're planning holiday to Turkey, to Sawat, to Skardu, to even Mari. So it is a small project when you plan a holiday.
Yeah, we can say. On daily basis, we have to plan many things, as we have to run our life, we have to manage our clothes and multiple things in our daily life. We have to do all these things, manage clothes, our wardrobe. We have to plan it for if we have to fix our time to do these things.
Perfect. So you are decorating a house or move to a new house, you are buying a new car, or even you're cooking a meal or baking a cake. Let's talk about buying a car. What do you do when you want to buy a car? What do you do? Anything that comes to your mind? You want to buy a car, and if I ask you what steps you would have buying a car. Yes. Anyone?
First, you start searching for the for new car models, for new prices, for car prices, and different websites to search about the different car models and prices, and then make a choice according to your budget.
Perfect. Perfect. So you want to do some research, want to do what are the options, and then your budget. As per your budget, you want to see what comes in your budget. So let's go further and see all these things you're talking about are not professional projects. They're all life projects. So what we're going to learn today is that how we can use project management to have a good and happy life, to lead a good and happy life. Okay, so very first thing, so let's just take the example of buying a car. So at the start, you have a business case. Why you want to do this? Why you want to buy a car? And what are the benefits if you buy a car? So you actually have a need. Maybe you are to your office or to your business or moving around with your friends. So you have a need. And on the basis of that need, it creates a business case. And in a very, very simpler term, there's a lot of things actually in the business case, but just for the sake of simplicity, you ask two questions: why you want to do this, why you want to buy a car, and what benefits it will bring in your life. Okay, so let's say you have answers to both the questions, and then you sort of go for the requirement collection. What type of features you want. It can, car is a Mehran also, or it can be a Ferrari also, depending upon the number of features, or it can be Tesla. What type of features you require in a car? So you get the requirements, you do some requirement analysis, and then you finalize, okay, I want these 5 things, bare minimum in the car. And then maybe the features you have later on comes out of your budget, so you prioritize those features. Maybe when you start, you have a features like have an SUV, but then you see your budget and you start crossing some of the features, and you come back to a sedan car. So in every project, you want a degree. Again, you do requirement collection, you do requirement analysis. You want to buy a new car, you do this. You want to have a new house, you want a new house, you do this. So for every project in your life and your professional projects, you do requirement analysis. You finalize the scope, what exactly you need in car, in your house, even when you plan a holiday. What exactly you want to do with your holidays? And then you prioritize. There are certain things. There's a technique we use in project management called Moscow. Moscow is must have, should have, could have. So you prioritize them. These 3 things are must have. Then maybe the couple of things that should have. And then, there's always nice to have features that maybe, some budget, you'll have it. Otherwise, you can skip those. So we are done with the requirements. then you go about, you have to see that how much money you have, are you prepared to spend on this one? Whether again it's your car, it's a new meal, it's a new cupboard, it's your wardrobe. You want to design a new wardrobe for you. As one of the participants was saying, are you want to move to a new house? How much money you want to really spend on this? And where I'm going to take it from? Do you have that money? You want to have a loan? You want to sell something to get this done? Again, whether it's your personal project or professional project, you may have or you may not have all the funds available for this project. So you might want to take a loan, maybe from a friend, from a bank, from your employer, or you want to sell something to get this thing done. So again, you have to plan it out. What are you going? And will all I need to fit within my budget? So as I was talking about the scope and the prioritization. So maybe you have a bigger scope, but your budget is short. So you want to cross something from your scope. So that is what you do in your life. You want to have holiday. I'm going to Skardu. I'll go by air, and I'll stay in a 5-star hotel for 5 days. Then I'll rent a Fortuner. I'll go to Deosai planes and whatever. Then you start counting, and it is out of your budget. I said, okay, let's not stay in a 5-star hotel. Let's stay at a 3-star hotel. Okay, let's not rent a Fortuner. Let's have a Jeep. Let's not go by air. We can go by car also. So it depends how much money you have or what features comes in your budget. Whether it's a holiday, it's your personal project. Even if your degree, sometimes some students have to check which university is the cheaper one, because they don't have money for the one, some of you might want to go to LUMS or IBA. Some would settle down in Zabest, in Baria, and ComSat, and even some would settle down to the public universities, which have even cheaper. Make these comparisons. You may not use the exact jargons we use in project management, but again, you use this sort of all analysis in your projects. So something very important in projects is stakeholder management. Let's talk about, you want to buy a new car, you don't have money, you have to have money. Parents, they are very important stakeholders. You have to ask them, you have to convince them why you need money for the new car, why your old car is not sufficient enough to do things that you want to do. You want to have a new degree, again, you want to have money from sponsors, from your parents, from your brother, from your sister. You have to convince them. You want to go for holidays to Turkey, you need money again. You need time out from home. You need to consult people. You need to consult your parents, your elders, your brothers, your sisters, your loved ones. You have to convince them. So stakeholder management is very, very, very important. I'm emphasizing a lot on two things. One is the way you communicate for your projects, whether in your personal life or in your professional life. And the second one is the way you manage your stakeholders. You can do whatever you want to do if you can manage the stakeholders well. And in your personal projects, your stakeholders are your friends, your family, your parents, your loved ones, your brothers and sisters, your wives and husbands, your kids. In your professional projects, stakeholders list is a long list. That's your suppliers, your team, your sponsors, your organization. So in both cases, you have to communicate with them. If you're a good communicator, it is something like managing the stakeholders and you'll get things done. Whether it's a budget, whether it's a timeout, whether it's a permission to go outside, whatever it is all about communication. If you can communicate well, it is something very easy that you can do. Okay, let's move to the next part. One of the participants was saying that we have to plan. Yes, better. What do you do? Your policy, you want to even go to Peace or Hava, or with your friends, you want to go to a restaurant, you have to plan it out. And it depends on the success of your project. It's a project, it's a big project, it's a professional project. The success of your project depends on planning. It doesn't matter if you're doing a project whose budget is like, 1,000 rupees, or I'm working on project whose budgets are $600 million, or in rupees, we'll talk about 200, 300 billion rupees. Every project needs planning. Every project needs the planning. So go back to your car. You want to buy a new car, you have to plan it well. Which car you need, which brand you need, where you can buy, what are the features, what is the mileage, how to drive it, whatever information you need, you get the information, you research it, and then you plan it. Okay, let me ask you a question, a very simple question. Do all of us agree that planning is something very important, or we have another point of view? Any one of you? Anyone, please? Do we all agree that planning is something important?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Anyone else with a different point of view?
Yes, of course.
Of course,
Not-
yes. So whether it's a small project, it's a very small project, or whether your projects involve continents and countries and governments and a lot of organizations, every time planning is important. If you do the good planning, half of the battle is done, half of the work is done. And if you don't plan well, then what happens is that your projects are troubled projects, or your projects are failed projects. So again, plan well. We will talk about in a bit, and how to plan well. Okay, in every project, whether it's your personal project or professional project, there are always challenges. What type of challenges? There are risks, there are constraints, there are dependencies, and you have to overcome those dependencies. How you would like to overcome? You first need to identify the roadblock on your way. Come back to your project, buying a new car. One roadblock is your stakeholders, your parents are not agreeing with that. You don't need it actually. Okay. Other roadblock can be you don't have the money for the car you want to buy. Okay. The other one is, even if you order today, you have like 6 to 8 months wait time for that. There can be a lot of roadblocks. The first thing is identify the roadblock on your way. Let's take the example of the project. You want to go to holidays to Skardu, and the government announced that you cannot go without the vaccination. You have to have your vaccination certificate with you, and you haven't got your first shot yet. Another challenge. You have ways to overcome such challenge. So the first you identify it. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. I think something just happened. Okay, so there are challenges ahead. You identify those challenges, and then you try to resolve those challenges. Your parents are not agreeing, you convince them. You argue with them, you give your argument and you convince them. You want to go for the holidays, you just go to a vaccination center, get your doses and get a certificate and just go for the holidays. So you know what the roadblocks are, and then you know sort of resolve those roadblocks. You do the risk analysis. There are a lot of things why you should be doing the risk analysis. You know what are the roadblocks, you know what are the risks. You can convince your parents, your stakeholders. You can ask for more resources. You can at least identify what can go wrong in the future if you do go for this project. So there are different things that you do for risk analysis. Okay, let's talk about, you want to go to Lahore from Islamabad, and you want to see what's the weather. Is there any strikes or motorways closed or open? These are all things that risk analysis, or finding the problems and solutions. I'm not telling something new to you. I'm just trying to give you the jargons we use in project management. Some of them you're already doing. Some of them you might start from today. Okay, you started something, but there's always a change management involved. You thought of going to Dubai, staying in a 5-star hotel and renting a Fortuner, but unfortunately you have to change some of the things. You might have to go to buy your own live in a 3-star hotel. So there's a change involved. You have to be adaptable. You have to be quick and manage the thing. Agility. What is agility? It's responding to the change quickly. So whatever the change coming to your project, you have to be quick to respond those changes. If you're not quick to respond to changes, you might not be able to complete your project on time. Okay, moving forward, what skills project management teach you? Collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication. It teaches you how to collaborate. It teaches you how to think critically. It makes you creative, as you saw on the first slide, and it helps you in sort of making your communication better. The way I already told you, communication is the hallmark. If you communicate well, you communicate with your stakeholders, boom, you achieve whatever you want to achieve. Okay, so far we have talked about so many things. So let me ask you, are you ready? And you already know all these things, or are you already doing all these things, or you still want to learn something new? Any answer? Quick answer. Are you ready to unlock yourself? Are you ready to, sort of do projects and do successful projects?
Yes, sir, we are ready to fly.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, if you are ready, let me give you the right ingredient, the right recipe that can change your life. Very, very right recipe. That you planning even your daily routine life. And the best way to plan is using Kanban. There's just one small piece of paper or on your mobile phone or your laptop to do, in progress, and done. 3 columns. Whatever you need to do in your day, put it in the to-do list. Whatever you're doing right now, shift it to in progress. And whatever you're done, shift to the done column. Believe you me, I do this on a daily basis. So you start doing it and you will feel the difference in your life. You will feel the difference in quality of your life. You'll feel the difference in success of your projects. Very simple. Make a to-do list, to do, in progress, and done. Ways you can do the Excel sheet, on a piece of paper, on your mobile phone, on anything, whatever you want to do. So the first ingredient is start planning, start making a to-do list. Second one, be agile, be quick. Whatever you want to do, you need to be quick in doing that. Don't just start thinking about it and then it takes days and days and days and you're still thinking. You need to be quick to respond to the situation. That is the second ingredient of being successful. Third one, it is your choice. You need to think in your projects how much technology you want to use. It may not be, everything need not to be automated. It is your choice. You need to create the balance of doing it yourself, doing by the humans and by the technology. This discussion is very important. We might have another webinar on this thing, that how technology is changing our lives. So you need to create the balance in using technology. And the last thing is you need to be adaptable to the new situations. The world is changing so fast. If you remember, maybe some of you are old enough to remember the world 10 years or 15 years back. I still remember the world 20, 25 years back. World was not that fast. Now the world is so fast that you need to be adaptable quickly. If you're not adaptable, you may not be successful in your life. With that, that's all from my side for today. And I'm open for your questions. If you have any questions, you may ask now. Thank you. Any question? Hello. You can also put your question in the chat also if you don't. If you have.
Question that the requirement analysis, we need some type of level like project management documents.
आपकी आवाज बहुत स्लो है, बहुत ही स्लो है.
It's clear.
Better.
There is one question that we need requirements analysis or requirement documents for all type of projects.
Sorry, come again.
Do we need requirement documents or requirement analysis for all type of projects?
Oh yes, depending on the type of the project, but we need the requirement documents for every project. It may not be that formal for your personal projects, but you still need it. Why? Because on the basis of the requirements, you do some analysis and then you finalize the scope for every single project, whether it is going to Lahore for a concert, going for a dinner or a lunch, or buying a new car. You finalize your scope, and you cannot finalize the scope unless you have the requirements. So yes, you need to have sort of requirement documentation, whether formal or whether informal. There's a question in chat. Kindly briefly tell us about agility in real life or real-time projects. It's a bit confusing. How we implement agility. Okay. Okay, I'm a bit confused how and why implement. Perfect. It's a perfect question. Thank you very much for asking the question. What is agility? We need to understand this first. Agility is responding to change quickly. Let me tell you a scenario. You're driving a car on a road. You are like 120, and all of a sudden you see something on the road. What do? You use the steering wheel to avoid that thing on the road. So that is how you respond quickly to the change. That is what agility is. So if you can implement the agility on the road, while you just saw a couple of bricks on the road, and you just want to avoid the bricks, so you will just turn the steering wheel and you will go from the other side. That is agility on a simplest term. In your life projects, how quickly you decide, that is another part of the agility. Maybe you to do a project, a personal project that involves certain stakeholders, and they want the results quickly. You want to implement agility. For example, you want to go for a concert to Lahore. That's a very small project. You have 4 friends. You have to reach at 9 p.m. tonight. It's like 4 p.m. right now. You have to be quick to achieve your project objectives. This is again agility. So in every situation, analyzing the situation quick and making the quick decision is actually the agility. So agility means that you do not indulge in a long thought process. You actually make your research, decide it, and then whatever is decided, you just implement it. That is what agility is, and that is how you can implement in your real life projects or real time projects. I hope I answered your question. It can't to change anything too fast. Yes, you're absolutely right. Since you're a project manager of your life, your scenarios, so you decide when you can do this, when you cannot do this. You're not saying that every time you have to this, no. But sometimes you can, wherever you can do it, do it. Where you cannot do it, you go for the waterfall approach or any other project management approach you want to use. So it depends on situation analysis, where you can do it, where you cannot do it. Yeah. Anyone else? Depends upon the condition. Yes, that's what I was saying. Absolutely. Thank you, Ahmad. Any other question? Anything you are confused about? Anything you want to learn? Anything you want to get cleared? What is the benchmark for success? There's no one benchmark for success. It can be different for different people. It can be different for everyone. There need to be a customized benchmark for success. There are people for them money is success. There are people for them happiness is success. There are people for them achieving something is success. There are people for them enabling other people to get things done is success. So there's no one formula for success. It needs to be different for every single human being, depending upon what is their thought process, what is their passion, what they want to achieve in life. So knowing those questions and answering those questions will give you the exact formula for what the success is for you. Have any steps for agility, sir? Yes, the very first step is that you start thinking positively. The other thing is that you accept the change. You accept in your mind that yes, change can happen and I have to respond to change. Then since you are accepting the changes, then analyze the change, why this change is coming and how you want to implement those changes. So these are 2-3 steps that help you to be quick, to be agile in your life. More ways, yes, you're right. Definitely, success varies from person to project. Absolutely right. This is what I was talking about. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, there's another question. If we are, I think, let me do it again. I have um, asked to unmute. Yes, I think I've done this. So there was a question that if we are beginner after complete study, how can we start our job working or anything you suggest? See, if you are done with your studies, you need to be very focused on two things. One, you want to do a job, so it's a decision point. You want to do a job, or you want to do your own business or your own startup. Let's say you chose for a job. So then you need to have a focused approach, that which type of companies you want for the job, which type of jobs you're looking for. Shortlist the companies, make your profile, make your LinkedIn profile, then start hunting for the job. Always try to hunt the relevant job for you. And if you want to go for the startup, then the advice is very different. See what problems you want to solve to make your startup, and then start working on it. Make a small team. Team matters in startup. If you have a good small team, you can. It takes like 2-3 years, but you can start working on it. But again, for both the approaches, you need to be very focused. It's not like that. You just start applying to different companies on LinkedIn, on Rosie.pk. You can't do that. There are very focused way of getting the job done, and that if you are very focused, you can get it done. Otherwise, a lot of students, a lot of novices, beginners, they face issues in getting their first jobs.
Okay, sir. Ec- It's a wonderful experience to basically attend this session. My name is Faisal Fiaz. So whatever the explanation that you have provided, it's all about this, that project management basically keep us on a single path to achieve our target. And if we put this thing in our life skills, then obviously we have 100% achievement target, and we can achieve everything, whatever that we have basically fixed and focused on that thing. So we should adopt this thing. In this way we can manage our timeline with our targets, and we can achieve our objectives through managing our resources rationally, and we can get optimal advantages as well by just comparing all over the basically surrounding resources, surrounding whatever the obstacles, targets, and to achieve milestone, to just break down different to break down our complete basically project into different chunks so that we could achieve them in timely manner. So you have explained really very well. I'm very happy to attend this one. You basically put this in state learners so that they become optimal learner, and they basically the targets. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Faisal. Thank you very much. You actually explained, summarized the whole session in a 1 minute. Wonderful.
Basically, I'm basically ex-project manager of Punjab University College of Information Technology, Punjab University Lahore campus. I served there as 9 years, and I evaluated different computer science projects of different fields, networking, Java, Microsoft, research projects, and all other things. But I have one thing, that it's a practical approach to achieve our target. If we fill that thing with this project management instinct in our brain, in our basically life, then we can become the best achiever of the world. So we should achieve this thing to achieve our targets. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Maliha, you have a comments. Agility means how you manage uncertainty and risk. Yes, we can say that. When there are a lot of changes coming, it means the uncertain environment, and the way you manage it, if you can manage it well, we'll say you're an agile person.
Sir, here is another question.
Yes.
What are the main steps that you will take to do risk planning?
What are the main steps you do to do the risk planning? Risk planning. Okay. So the very first thing is that you identify the risk. In real life project management, we make a risk register. What is the risk register? In a very simple terms, you identify what risk can create hindrances or challenges in your project. So you identified the risks, all the risks, then you do the risk analysis. Again, if we go in a much detail, it's a qualitative risk analysis, it's a quantitative risk analysis. And then after the risk analysis, you plan risk responses. What type of risks you identified it, you analyze the risk, and you plan the strategies. What type of response you will initiate if that risk occur. You also define the risk triggers. कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये risk occur हो रहा है? So you identify it, you analyze it, you plan the responses, and when those responses are, when those sort of triggers are, in place, risk has occurred, then you initiate the response to that risk. So that is a 4-step process that we normally use in project management for our previous professional projects and for our daily life or our life projects also. Any other question? So if you are done with the questions, Gigi, please.
Yes, sir. I think nobody have question now. So we should end up the session. Sir, we are honored that you are deliver your lecture here very well. And I think if anybody confused in anything, everything will be clear or already. Thank you everyone to join us today. Even then, if you have any question, you can send us question. So
Okay,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Have fun. And I put my LinkedIn profile. If any of you have any questions, looking for any advice, I can be available and I can spare some time to discuss with you. With that, thank you very much. Have fun. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.